Obviously, Wisconsin is, you know, succeeded at a pretty high rate in this conference. Other schools like that. And Ohio State's been another tier above that. So, just as a head coach, how much do you feel like that is part of your calling or whatever here to keep a gap between Ohio State and programs like this one?
Oh, I don't know about all that. I just know, if you just lock in on right now, that's what matters, and playing this game. And, I think at the end of the year, you kind of come up for air and start to look at different things. But we've said all along that all we're going to do is just focus on this week and be a 1-0. And again, I know it sounds cliche, but it's real. And we got to stay locked in on this and can't worry about what this game doesn't mean. Just worry about what we're doing in terms of our assignments, motivation, guys practicing hard, getting ourselves ready physically, mentally, emotionally, go play a really hard game and do it.
Through the Cone there, the quarterback, just your thoughts on him, what he brings to the game?
Yeah, I think he's playing at a high level. He's doing a really good job on third down, keeping him on schedule, first and second down. He's very accurate when he throws. He's got some weapons out there. And I think he's really, obviously, Taylor's, the guy that gets him going. But Cone has done a really excellent job of managing that offense, and he's a good player. And so I think as the team goes, and it's between Taylor and Cone and the other guys that get these guys going, and then Cephas on the perimeter in one-on-one situations is a matchup issue. So they have weapons, and they have a really good scheme as well.
Right behind him, Ari.
Ryan, when Justin entered the transfer portal, it was a very short amount of time, condensed recruitment almost, from just recruiting somebody out of high school. I know you guys looked at him when he was in high school, but how much did you know about him during that short amount of time? Because it seems like very quick between portal and then now he's at Ohio State. And what did you have to do to familiarize yourself enough to know that he's a guy that you want and need in your program?
Yeah, we did a bunch of homework on him when he was coming out. He was committed to Penn State, and then decommitted from Penn State. And at that point is kind of when we got involved with that recruitment, got to know he and his family. So at that time, we kind of knew enough about him. His high school coach is somebody that I've known for a while, and somebody that when I recruited, the school back when I had Atlanta, I knew those guys. So, once we saw that he was in the portal, we kind of already knew about him, knew his family. So, moved pretty quick, and it all worked out.
During the recruiting process, and maybe now that the transfer portal is becoming a thing, how much do you rely on evaluations as a evaluator yourself from people that work with him at the Elite 11, the camp circuit? There's a lot of evaluations being done by a lot of different people, and I was just wondering how much credence you give to these guys and if it ever impacts your decisions.
Yeah, I think anytime you were trying to figure out, especially a quarterback, you use as many tools as you can. Coaches in the area, guys that have played against them, coaches he's had, teammates, and like you said, some of these Elite 11s, rivals camps, things like that, people who work, with these guys, you can get great information. And sometimes it's somebody who you wouldn't even notice. Somebody that was just kind of there, watching. He's an assistant coach from a local school, and say, hey, I saw that guy, and he did something really good after the workout. He went over and did something, showed respect, shook someone's hand, or maybe the other way. And so I think that's just good recruiting. Is you ask as many questions about these guys as you can, because you have limited time, in front of them, and time you can contact them during the recruiting period.
A lot of these people in those circles think that he is one of the most advanced prospects that they've ever seen. I'm wondering, what was your take when he was in high school, and from a dual threat standpoint, being equally almost as good as a runner as he is a passer, is he the most complete prospect at that position that maybe you've ever seen, or is that going too far?
I don't know. I mean, I know that he does have a lot of tools and he has a lot of talent. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of talented guys out there, but what they do with their talent in terms of creating discipline and skill is what's critical, and he's in the process of doing that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't sat down and thought about where he ranks with some of the other quarterbacks coming out of high school, but certainly #1 recruit in the country, and he got a lot of respect coming out.
Third row right, Rob.
Ryan, I'm guessing that the TCU game last year feels like a million years away. This arguably is the biggest challenge since that game for you. That was your first one. Do you look back and just say, I have come a long way, or how you've come a long way as that coach to today? Have you seen an evolution, and in what ways?
I try not to, think about things like that when I'm driving to and from work and all that, because there's so much going on that we need to get done in terms of on a daily basis, in terms of tasks and everything like that. But that does seem like a long time ago, and a lot of things have happened since then. And again, the more you do something, the more normal it becomes, and you find your voice. But then, more importantly, you get a feel for the guys that you're with, and the staff, the players, the leaders, and it changes every day, especially when you're dealing with 19, 20-year-old kids. Every day you come to work, it changes. You might have a thought of, here's how I think the week's going to go. Then you get there that day, you're like, nah, it's not going to go that way. Here's where it's going to go. And sometimes you really get that feel about midway through the week. Here's how the team is feeling. Here's what they need at that time, and then you go from there. And I think that's good leadership. And I think that's something that I've really got a good feel for in rhythm as time has gone on, is getting a feel for the team and their personality as the weeks have gone on.
What's the one thing you didn't see coming that is really different when you TCU to here? Is it, maybe it's not even the football side. I don't know.
No, I don't think there's one thing that I would say that just jumps off as you're asking right now that has caught me off guard. I'd have to probably think about that and get back to you, but certainly things pop up here and there that you got to be able to adjust to.
Booster meetings, alumni.
I mean, the people around here are great. I love some of the people that we deal with here. They're great people. Our administration's unbelievable, and it's part of the gig. I love every part of it.